A mysterious drone attack deep in the Persian Gulf. The Pacific Zircon, a Liberian-flagged tanker hit by a self-destructing drone 150 miles off the coast of Oman. The hit, which took place on Monday night and became public on Wednesday, has caused only minor damage to the vessel, but its affiliation with Israel is raising concerns of renewed tensions in deep waters. Singaporean-based Eastern Pacific Shipping, which owns the boat, releasing a statement that we are in communication with the vessel and there is no reports of injuries or pollution. All crew are safe and accounted for. There is some minor damage to the vessel's hull, but no spillage of cargo or water ingress. The shipping company is partly owned by Israeli businessman Idan Ofer, and Israeli officials say Iran was behind the attack. One of them telling I-24 News, this attack was on a vessel loosely connected to Israel, therefore it is not being considered a direct attack against Israel.
Devin, at around 11 a.m. this morning, North Korea fired a single short-range ballistic missile from its port city of Wonsan. This came just 8 days after it last tested a short-range ballistic missile last Wednesday. South Korea's military said the missile flew 240 kilometers at an altitude of around 47 kilometers at a speed of Mach 4. It reportedly hit an uninhabited small island in the East Sea called Alsom Island, a target that's typically used by North Korea to test missiles. Seoul's military confirmed that it actually held a missile defense drill with the U.S. earlier in the day and that it's still maintaining a strong defense readiness.
As the anti-hijab demonstrations swell in Iran, the security forces in the country continue to violently clamp down these protests. In a latest incident, the Iranian security forces opened fire on people at a metro station in Tehran. They used batons to hit women who were not following the country's strict dress code. The demonstrators at the metro station were seen setting headscarves on fire as the anger over the death of Mahsa Amini entered its third month. People were then seen running for exits as the police officers opened fire on a crowded platform. The officers were also seen inside a train marching through the carriages and beating women who did not wear a headscarf.
While the world looks away, the Taliban in Afghanistan clamped down on human rights in the country. In the latest blow, the Taliban supreme leader has ordered judges to fully enforce Sharia or Islamic law, an edict that could see the return of public floggings, executions and stonings for certain crimes. Women especially could be at the receiving end of many of these punishments. During their previous rule in the mid-90s, the Taliban routinely stoned women for the crime of adultery. And just last week, the group banned women from entering parks, gyms and public baths, the latest in a long line of restrictions on women and girls.
District Attorney Susan Opper says a life in prison is the best they can do for the victims. But the victims should know, she adds, that the community, the state, and the whole nation are behind them.
I'm very grateful that Mr. Brooks will never be a free man.
The district attorney led the state's team for nearly a year to get their conviction, and she's satisfied with the judge's sentence, more than 760 years.
I thought it was very, very impactful that she read a sentence for each victim by name. That was really tremendous. The victims are very grateful for that.
Darrell Brooks spoke freely for 2 hours in court. He never once admitted guilt or apologized for having anything to do with the parade attack. Opper says the judge noticed.
In a rare olive branch, Myanmar's junta has announced it will release almost 6,000 prisoners. These include a former British ambassador and a Japanese journalist, also an Australian economic advisor who worked with Aung San Suu Kyi has been set free. According to officials, former British envoy to Myanmar, Vicky Bowman, who was jailed for allegedly breaching immigration laws, will be released soon. Meanwhile, Australian economic advisor Sean Turnell, who worked as an aide to ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi and was sentenced for violating the country's official secrets law and immigration law, has already been released.